Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back. Today we're going to be testing a new finish. I'm working on a wall mount guitar hanger here. You've probably seen me make a few of these before if you've been following my channel. I sold the last one that I had on my wall, so now I have to put up another one to hang my guitar. What we're going to be using on this one is a finish that I haven't shown you guys before. It's a teak oil. Teak oil is a finish that dries hard, it penetrates into wood, and it's fairly easy to apply. It's designed for teak wood and stuff like that, but this is walnut. I think it's going to go well. This is the teak oil made by Behlen. They were kind enough to send this over to me along with some other products. We're going to be actually doing most likely a contest sponsored by them shortly here. But anyway, this is what we're going to be applying. I'm just going to use a simple rag to apply it. It's fairly quick and easy to do, and I'm going to show you how to do it, and we're going to take a look at what kind of finish we get. So we've got our oil nicely shaken up here. The surface is nice and clean. Just make sure there's no dust on it or anything. It's also nice and smooth. I've got it sanded smooth with 400 grit by hand. So we're going to start taking our teak oil. It's a brand new bottle, so I probably have to break the seal on the top of it here. Yeah. Sorry, just one moment. There we go. We're going to start as per the instructions here by applying a fairly wet coat, and I'm just going to wipe it on. You can brush it on, you can dab it on. It's kind of at your leisure how you choose to apply it. But you can see I left this spot dry. You can see already how nice that is, how much it darkens it up. I'll do the same thing on the side, but I'll zoom in and you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. So again, you start with a fairly wet coat of this. You can kind of just lay it on there, wipe off a little bit of the excess, but you don't have to be overly careful with this first one. So for starters, you just get that wet coat on there and let that start to dry. I'm rubbing in this oil just a little bit, but you can tell by how shiny it is that it's a nice medium wet coat. All right guys, so the idea here is we apply the stuff, fairly heavy coat, give it 5 or 10 minutes to dry, and then in 5 or 10 minutes you check back and see if there are any kind of dull spots. Now if there are some dull spots and you see that it's starting to get uneven, what you do is you take your cloth, put some teak oil on it again, this one's got some on it now, and you reapply essentially. So it's pretty easy to tell. You just move it around. You see some spots are shiny, some aren't. I don't bother to try and apply it only to those that aren't shiny. I just go in and I basically reapply another coat. Not as wet this time because a lot of it is already absorbed into the wood and there's no need to put quite as much on. But yeah, just go in, put another coat on there, and that way you've got a little bit of, it should all be shiny at this point after your second coat, and you've got a little bit of excess kind of sitting on the surface. All right, and once you've done that, you've got a little bit of excess on there. Now it's time to wait probably about half an hour. In about half an hour, we're going to come back with a dry, clean rag, and we're going to basically buff this thing. Don't need any compound, don't need to sand it or anything like that. It's a very simple process. You go in and you just buff it off. If it's still looking uneven after that, because you haven't added anything to it or whatever, you can feel free to reapply another coat. So we're going to come back in half an hour or so and take a look at this, buff it off by hand, and see if it needs any more. All right guys, so we've waited our half hour or so, and this teak oil is dry now. You can see it's done a beautiful job of accenting the look of this wood, darkening it up nicely. Looks really good. And you can take a look at the finish there, the sheen. It's got kind of a satiny sheen, not quite a semi-gloss. It dried nice and even. I don't have any dull spots, nothing like that I need to worry about. So technically, the step to do at this point, sorry, I should have just stayed over here, is to take a clean, dry cloth and just buff it out. But really all this accomplishes is to give it just a little extra, little extra shine on that satin, and maybe even it out a bit if you have a couple dull spots. So that's our finishing process complete on that. And we've got that the nice sheen. But I'd like to see if we can take this a little further. I want to know if I can get this up to, closer to a semi-gloss. So I've got my teak oil here, still got my cloth. That nice shiny look that you get when you wipe on a little bit of it fresh there. I want to see if I can get it a little closer to that as a finish. So what I'm going to do here, of course, is the only logical thing. I'm going to apply another coat or two. Use the same techniques, the same recoat times and everything, and see what I can get. I'm not going to go as heavy this time. The first one was a pretty wet coat because I wanted it to soak in. That's what you're supposed to do. But now I'm just going to add another couple layers on top here. And let this one dry for 5 minutes. Come at it again. Let that dry for half an hour. And then we'll be back to buff it out again. All right, guys, so I added another coat or two on here. Another light coat and then a touch-up coat after. And that's what we ended up with. So still pretty satiny, not a whole lot of extra shine on there. I can't really tell. I don't think that continuing with this would really add much more shine. It might get a little bit more, but I don't know if it would get us up to that kind of semi-gloss state. So you might, if you were looking for that, want to go over this with a top coat of some description, perhaps an oil that glosses up more, or alternatively a lacquer, a semi-gloss lacquer or something like that, depending on compatibility, of course. I'm not sure what exactly teak oil is or is not compatible with, but I think, yeah, if you built up another coat or two, it might gloss out a little bit more. But I'm actually quite happy with that. I think the satin finish like that looks beautiful. It looks very classy. It's a good thing for furniture and whatnot, for guitars, which I'm sure a lot of you who watch my channel are working on, and pretty much anything, honestly. The satin finish looks really nice. So I'm very happy with this, of course. I'm probably going to use the teak oil on an upcoming guitar body build that I'm doing. Not 100% sure yet. I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, definitely a good product. So if you're interested in teak oil, Behlen makes a very good one. It's easy to use. The instructions are very simple, and it only takes, 45 minutes or something like that to get a finish. So definitely worth a shot if that's what you're into. Apparently it dries very hard. I might have to test it at some point, but for the interim, I'm going to put my stand prongs, if you will. I think that's whatever. I'm going to finish making this guitar hanger and get it on my wall. So as always, thanks for watching. I hope you guys found this useful, or at least entertaining. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Have a good one.